Så klockan är 1:05, så vi hälsar alla välkomna till dagens webbinarie av Trimble Stratus, drönarplattformen som används flitigt i Sverige idag. Idag har vi fokus på bergtäkter. Vi slår ett slag för imorgon har vi ett liknande webbinar, men då med fokus på anläggningsprojekt. Så välkomna. Idag har vi en talare som heter Samuel som kommer att visa oss lite djupare i plattformen. Nya funktioner som har kommit, några kanske ni har använt tidigare. Men idag ska vi titta på lagerhantering och hur man kan bygga upp materiallistor. Säkerhetskontroller är någonting också som vi ska gå in på. Och sen kommer vi visa den nya appen som är fri att ladda ner för alla som har en Stratus-licens. Finns på App Store eller Google Play. Jag heter ju Kristoffer. Jag jobbar som Key Account på SITECH. SITECH är ju en Trimble-återförsäljare. Vi går inte in på någon presentation av SITECH idag, utan efter webbinariet så kommer det ett mejl med lite länkar, en inspelning av webbinariet och kontaktuppgifter till mig om man vill ha en egen djupdykning i Stratus. Så vi går rakt på saken. Samuel, are you ready?
Yes, god dag alla. Jag heter Samuel och jag är Sales Engineer på Propeller. And that is pretty much all Swedish I can talk here today. So I'll be doing this presentation and demonstration in English. But as Christopher mentioned, if you have any questions, feel free to type in Swedish to the Q&A box and we will handle them together. So Christopher did the introductions, and what I'll be focusing on is showing how Trimble Stratus powered by Propeller can help you get more efficient in your core operations and what we can provide to help with your mapping, measuring and managing your full sites. And here, I guess Propeller is the manufacturer of Stratus platform, and Stratus is the Trimble product that SITECH it has it in their portfolio. And in general, the challenge what we face through our customers in this industry is that knowledge and data and information is siloed. It's stored locally on computers, on people's notebooks or phones, maybe even group chats or just chats in general. It's very siloed and very difficult to find, and a lot of times it might be outdated and not really useful to make impactful, meaningful, efficient decisions. And how Trimble Stratus, powered by Propeller, we can help is that we can help you effectively and easily collect lots of data frequently, so you can always have clear understanding of your site and the situation where you're working in right now. And our philosophy is that we want to democratize the data, allowing as many teams as possible to see the same data and make the decisions and conversation based on this, so that there's little room for disputes or discussion. We all see same data at the at the click of a button. And before diving too much into the platform and the capabilities itself, a lot of times when using drones, you hear terms RTK and PPK. And PPK stands for post-processed kinematics, RTK stands for real-time kinematics. And these are the methods how we can correct and make your drone fly and the 3D model accurate. There are slight differences when how these two methods work. And with the Propeller workflow, we always recommend the PPK workflow. And there are a couple of key benefits why we want to do this. And the key thing here, I guess, is that PPK, RTK both produce centimeter level accuracy, but PPK is slightly more reliable, plus our workflow has some additional benefits. So on the PPK workflow, we recommend using our own product called Aero. And this is a smart ground control point that provides corrections to the drone path when we are doing the processing. In addition to these corrections we can give for the drone, we have at least one ground control point on the ground level that allows us to extremely accurately to georeference the full 3D model with high accuracy on the global scale. So no need to go around and survey multiple points with your rover. This automatically gets the coordinates from the satellite constellations around your site. And these can be used in combination too, but the easiness and the streamline on the data collection process with the PPK workflow really overpowers RTK solutions as well. And on a traditional drone surveying or drone surveying with the RTK base stations or RTK corrections, you would still need to have a number of ground control points on your site. And no matter what you hear, they always recommend having at least 3 ground control points on your site. And this is to make sure the global placement is correct. And what we call in industry terms is that there is no bruising or curving around, especially on the sites. And when using a RTK drone or non-RTK drone, it's important to have good coverage around your site perimeter to prevent these shifts and distortions from happening. When using a PPK solution with our Aero points, we only need one Aero point for up to 40 hectares, basically 500-meter radius. And in this solution, Aero point acts as a hyperlocal base station with a short baseline to the drone path, allowing us to secure this 3 centimeter accuracy on every single point that we see on the site without having the need to have coverage along the full edges of the site perimeter. You can use multiple ground control points or other surveyed points in combination with the Aero point, but one is enough to provide this 3 centimeter accuracy on the before mentioned 40 hectare area. And this workflow works with most commonly used RTK enabled drones, such as Mavic 3 Enterprise, Panther 4 RTK, and DJI Matrice 300. The actual data processing workflow is as follows. When you arrive to your site, you place the Aero point on ground where you will be flying. You press a button, and after this, the unit will start observing satellite data and storing it to the internal memory. You fly your drone, basically click one button, and it autonomously flights the flight path. And once you are done with your mission, you press the button on the Aero point, connect it to a Wi-Fi from a phone or at the office, and the corrections data from the Aero point are automatically uploaded into our cloud-based platform. You upload your mission files into our platform, and we take care of the rest. And depending on the size of your survey, we usually we promise a 24-hour turnaround window, but based on our existing customers and our experiences, usually the data is also returned within the same day. So if you fly in the morning, you'll have it in the afternoon. If you upload it in the evening, you'll have the next day. So you are freed of the resources and the tasks that you don't have to manually geotag, georeference, or troubleshoot your processing that you would do on other solutions on your own dedicated computer. We take care of the heavy lifting. You don't need to worry about it. All you know, you'll get the highly accurate data back, which you can also verify from a report. So you can have more resources, more time and energy to do your actual work, to analyze, inspect the data, and make sure you make good decisions and share this information with your full team. Mining and quarrying specific challenges that we have seen is that knowing what is happening on the site frequently and continuously comes up from our ongoing conversations. Knowing how much material there is and how much you expect to hit your production goals, a lot of these things that rely on estimations or the experience or expertise of the people on site, and this information is very, very siloed. Obviously, mines and pits, core pits can be dangerous environments, and you rarely want to have a surveyor walk on top of stockpiles, high walls, and there's also a lot of heavy machinery that pose yet another threat for people. These machines also consume huge amounts of petrol. So with our solution, you're able to spot these bottlenecks and inefficient spots where you can change plans proactively and make sure that you are working to the full capacity of your plant. And these mainly all things you can do directly in the platform that I will be showing momentarily. And things that I will be going through, or challenges that we've identified, like mentioned earlier: inventory management, planning your next excavation or blast, hitting your targets, long-term pit planning with design files or our built-in tools, haul road management and efficiency with the safety and environmental concerns as well. And kind of related to all these points discussed on this slide, meeting budgets and deadlines affect everything, and that is a big challenge that we always come across. Last slide before I'm going to the live demo itself is that here showing what we can do with a couple of clicks: inventory checks, directing operations, verifying targets, analyzing blasting, excavating, extracting data from these plans, efficiency and safety as mentioned, and all other communication and conforming tasks or inspections you might do for your data. And now what I will do is I'll open my second screen here that should go directly into the platform. And what you should now see is a full 3D model of a demo mine site that we have in the SITECH Sverige portal. So we have full 3D model that we can intuitively inspect and view different statuses on the visually check the stockyard and the active part of the pit, plus anything else that that might come later on. That here's a thing that we might miss when using a regular surveyor or just going around the site. So we have full overview of the site at our hands at all times. Since this is a cloud-based solution, we promote this democratizing data philosophy, you can invite variety of teams and different stakeholders, subcontractors, to see the data and have different permissions, what they can actually do here and what they can see and how they can interact and do get benefit, what they should have from the data we have here. Now, diving into the first topic is the inventory management and figuring out the amount of stock we have on the site. And for this, I will zoom on into the stockyard of the site and specifically to this one stockpile right here. And for me to figure out what's the amount of material here, I start creating a measurement, and from these built-in templates that are designed for mining and quarrying industry in mind, I will find a measurement called stockpile. And all I need to do is click around as precisely as I wish around the stockpile I want to measure. And this is something you only need to do once. Once I've now surrounded the stockpile area, we will get the reference level based on the corner points I have clicked. And when we fly a new drone survey, should it be next week, 2 week, next month, this measurement area will remain here and it will get the new volume from the newest drone survey. So immediately we have the volume of the stockpile now in our knowledge, removing a lot of guesswork from the workflow. Having the volume already is a very good indication how much material we have, but we can go further and you can add your own material properties to your platform. We can pick any of the material properties you have uploaded, and this will give us a tonnage based on the density you can specify plus the monetary value. So now we have even further knowledge how much this specific stockpile has currently in itself. And once we save it, we can do this for all stockpiles that we have in our site. And we can go and check each stockpile individually, what is in here, and if it's what the numbers are. Other than that, we can also export the stockpile inventory report from the Stratus platform. I'm selecting stockpile inventory report. It can be a PDF or CSV file, and you have full control what information you want to export while doing this. After a few moments, we will be greeted with a PDF report, in this case, that shows each stockpile individually, and then at the bottom, it will calculate together all stockpiles together. If there are multiple piles of different individual material, they are all counted together. So here at the bottom, we can see each stockpile individually, and here we have the material totals. So this way you can get good overview what's on your site at all times. Plus you can then easily combine these for multiple sites to have full company-wide reporting of the materials. We can also track change over time on each individual stockpiles and verify if these volumes match, for example, with the scale reports you get from the scale house. Next step that I will be focusing on is planning on monitoring the excavation or the blasting. So I'm going to the active pit here, and we can see that this part already has holes drilled and is ready for the next excavation. With a couple of clicks, I can figure out what's the estimated volume of material we are getting here. And for this, we also have pre-made tool called bench volume. And with this, I will estimate roughly where the area of the blast will happen, and I will close the measurement. And what this will do is this will give me a horizontal reference level that anything above this is counted into the measurement itself. So we can have a 3D view of estimating how much volume we will get out of this blast. Volumes already give us a good idea, but we can also add calculators to figure out the densities or tonnages, or estimating a swell factor once it's blasted out, how much the volume will actually increase and how many trucks we maybe need to haul it up the road and so on. So we can estimate the total after blast volume that we will have right here. When planning these blasts, we can also have more detailed view of the high walls. For example, if there are any fault lines or cracks along the high wall that should be taken care of when planning the blast, we can see them in high detail without going to the site and having multiple teams and people already seeing this while in different locations and really seeing the same thing when doing these plans already. In addition, we can share while we have the drill locations already done. We can take the location of these drill holes and share with different teams. We can take cross sections and profiles of the front wall and share these with the team that is planning these blastings. Also, if we don't have these blast holes yet done, we can estimate the locations before we start the blast and see the angle of drilling just based purely on the 3D model itself. If you are using a dedicated blast design software, you can take, this 3D model and export it directly as a 3D surface that you can import to these blast designing software. So we'll always have highly detailed and new up-to-date 3D model as a base of your blasting design, making you more efficient, saving resources, energy, and money, of course, since they are all done directly with the relevant information. Then, when the blast is happened, we can then start analyzing how much material we have gotten from the blast. And here is the post-blast volume, and we can see we can use the same measurement type to a reference level, seeing total volume of material that is now lying here waiting to be hauled to the actual processing plant. We can see this is 11,681 cubic meters of material waiting to be hauled. And on the other side here, when we start planning and seeing how long it takes us to haul the material to the processing plant, we can also check the status of the previous drone flight when it was. So at the bottom here, we see a timeline feature. And what this does, it allows us to move from one survey to another with a click of a button. So we can go to the different survey that was done month before, and we can see what the situation was in that case. And we can see the blasted material lying on this corner has been almost all hauled away in time of 1 month. I can figure out quickly how much material we have moved from this specific location by doing similarly a measurement around it. And what this measurement will do is comparing two drone surveys of different dates. So here we see in 1 month difference, we have hauled 6.5 cubic meters of material away. And that is kind of our baseline of hauling the material. Knowing this pile here is 11,000 cubics, we can roughly estimate it will take 2 months to haul the full material up if that is the reference we are using. So giving further understanding how much hauling the material, or if you have enough material at hand that you are hitting your production goals. As mentioned, safety is an important factor, and it is not something that anyone wants to take lightly. And with this 3D model and all these features at hand, we can do easily inspections on the high walls, especially with the highly detailed model. If there are chance of rocks falling, something like this, we can do annotations, creating small quick measurements with the safety hazard, marking a location where there's a chance of rock crumbling. We can give it the different severity and likelihood of happening, and you have full control of editing these measurements to your liking. Additionally, we can inspect the berm heights to make sure that the elevation against the whole road is enough and within regulation, and if there are change over time to the berm height, if material is falling off, someone's hit it, or there has been a change in safety aspect of the berm. So we really can avoid of having people go into the site with dangerous places and heavy machinery, really making it safe. And if you need to go to a site, seeing these places, we can minimize the amount that we have to be on these dangerous locations. Environmental factors always come up, and they always come up unpredictably. And for this, we have this what we call the preferential flow path tool. And this will show that in case of a heavy rainfall or rainfall in general, we can see where the water will flow and with the strength that it will flow. So we can now see if they actually are flowing to the retention ponds, if it's actually flowing to the active pit, or if there are any high risk areas where we can see rocks crumbling down or erosion. For example, next to this berm, there are some heavy flow lines that might indicate that this might be a high risk area, so we can proactively be prepared for this event should it ever happen. To really highlight and complement this information we can find in the platform itself, and these environmental inspections in general is our mobile app that Kristoffer mentioned earlier. And I'm now sharing my phone screen, and we have the full same 3D model and capabilities at our hand. Since this is being used on a mobile device, we are able to see our GPS dot if we are walking on the site, giving us effectively extremely accurate full 3D Google-based map for us to be on our site. The features that we can do here are the same point, line, and polygon measurements for quick checks and inspections on the site. In addition, we can take photos directly in the app or upload them later on through the platform through the media tab. And this comes extremely handy when taking photos of details that are not necessarily visible from the drone photo. So for example, we can turn on the photos, and we can see here are a couple examples of rock formations sharing further detail before going to a site if it's something we need to take care of or so on, or sharing and tagging and assigning tasks for various different events that might take place in the pit, for example. One use case from our customers is also taking photos of the identification plates of different stockpiles. So then the photos will appear on top of the 3D model, and just quickly opening the photo, they have understanding which material is on which pile and if there's something they should need to act on. We can all visualize 3D designs here as well. So if you have your pit plans or environmental regulations you need to comply, we can have them here and do measurements against them directly. I'll now go back to the platform itself and show a bit more on the design files itself. So we can bring in a variety of different design files ranging from 3D surfaces to PDFs, line works, and so on. And we can visualize them, have a quick overview, how they are comparing to the current ground level. Plus, we can start making meaningful measurements against them, helping with your pit planning. And all I need to do is right-click, convert to measurement, choose which type I want to measure, and it will appear to the measurements tab. Here, I just confirm that we are looking against the correct design, stage 3. And now we will know in stage 3 from years 5 to 20 years, how much material in terms of volume we expect to extract. And now we can start making plans if this matches what we expect or have demand for yearly production values, if we need to make changes and go to different locations, so on and so on. It also gives a good indication where the limits are going if you're over extracting or leaving material on the table to really get the full benefit of the permits that you have. Also, given the new current topology, we can verify how much material on this side we have, or if some changes needs to be done as we are closing the limit and the current topography are pretty close over here. If you don't have 3D designs to give these plans, you can start estimating these as well with these different types of measurements. For example, the same base level measurement that I did give you a different base and estimation of these materials that you plan for the next month, quarter, year, 10 years, so on and so on. You can also digitize based on line work and PDFs and convert them in platform into 3D reference levels that give you volumes and materials and basically better control and understanding of your site. Now, this in short is the platform without going too much into detail on and little tiny details what we can do here. And now still a couple slides left in the slide deck, and this is what I'm very excited about are some new features that we are just about to release that can help you get even more value and benefit from Trimble Stratus. And the first one is WMTS links. So ability to automatically extract orthophotos and georeference data from the platform to any GIS or designing platform that you might have that supports WMTS links. And as it states here, this is a premium feature, and this is included in enterprise level packages. If you are interested in this or have you would like to know more, please reach out to Kristoffer at SITECH. We are more than happy to tell more about this packaging. Next exciting feature, especially for the higher latitudes, is LiDAR processing, and we can directly process LiDAR data from drones and georeference it with our PPK solution. Knowing that sunlight is limited and the weather can be very unpredictable, you can collect point cloud data just purely on the LiDAR sensors and have it georeferenced extremely accurately and have the same capabilities as I just shown on this data, allowing you to fly basically all year around and in varying conditions, since photogrammetry or the processing of 3D models based on photos, it relies that we have enough sunlight and good conditions for flying. If interested in this, also please reach out to Kristoffer. And that is all I had for you today. If you now have any questions, feel free to ask. Both Swedish and English are fine. I hope Kristoffer, if not able to answer, will translate so we can get the answer for everyone who might have questions.
Okay, thank you Samuel. Thank you for a great presentation. Som vi lite kort nämnde inledningsvis så finns det en Q&A-knapp längst ner om ni vill skriva in en fråga. Vi har ett par frågor. Samuel, we have a couple of questions. I will try to translate them to you.
Yes.
First one is we have conveyor belts running on top of our stockpiles and affect the volume calculation. How do you handle these?
That is a very good question, and knowing that they can really affect the 3D volume that we can get. But while you process with us, we have a couple of different options. We have built-in filtering options that will detect these volume changes over the or these point differences against the ground level. And so we can automatically filter it out, so it appears that there is no conveyor belt. Other way is that we have a built-in tool that I didn't show here. It's called a terrain cleanup, and this allows you to adjust and change the 3D model to clean the, for example, conveyor belt, vegetation, machinery, so you can actually estimate where your ground level or stockpiles are. So we have built-in options, and you have also ability to clean them yourself to get the accurate volume And if this is something that you're interested in, I'm more than happy to, we can schedule a demo and show the full capabilities of these tools.
Great. We have another question here. We want to fly our quarry every month. What type of license is suitable for us?
Yeah, so I guess that's more of the business side of the question, but I can help here. So we have different packs that we offer depending on which drone you use and how frequently you fly. And if it was flying monthly, so basically 12 times a year, we have a pack or like a bundle designed for lower amounts. And these smaller packs go all the way up until unlimited processing and so on. So this is something we usually want to discuss case by case, so we actually find the best solution to your situation and where you're flying, which devices you are using, so on and so on. And I guess, Christopher, you are more than happy to discuss these with locally
yes, of
with
course.
these people.
Ja, alla är välkomna att kontakta oss på SITECH, så ska vi förklara runt licensmodellerna och de varianter som finns. Som sagt, jag har ingen mer fråga här. Jo, nu kom det en fråga till. Samuel, I'll translate this. So with Aero points, I managed with one GCP for a corridor on a road on 2 kilometers by 50 meters. So I think you should explain a little bit how to use your Aero points when it's a corridor or a road, because that's a little bit different.
Absolutely, yeah, that is a good question. So when flying corridors or any projects that are longer than like a square or a sphere, circle, the baseline distances are more pronounced. So with one Aero point, we say it's basically 500-meter radius. And you said, Christopher, it was 2 kilometers, right?
2 kilometers by 50 meters.
Yeah. So in that case, you could use multiple Aero points and place them basically 1 kilometer apart. So 2 would be enough to cover this whole area. And that, like, I would say if that would be the case, I would use 3 and place them on the corners and the center, just to be sure we have corrections equally everywhere. But even with one Aero point, placing it as center as possible, and then having other surveyed ground control points or any known coordinate points, survey benchmarks along this road that we can use to verify that the model is remaining within the limit. But I would say like one Aero point can handle this, even though it's outside of the effective or the promoted range. But 2 to 3 is more than enough for this section, this kind of flight. Also, one way would be to fly it in sections. So given the line of sight of flying the drone is 500 meters, so flying in 2 kilometer long sections, and in those flights, one Aero point should be enough for both. And then you can upload them together and what we call merge them into one single data set. So few different ways of doing it, and yeah, but Aero points work on linear projects extremely well as well.
Okay, thank you. Så då har jag ingen mer fråga, utan efter webbinariet här så kommer ett mejl med länk till webbinariet, så jag går och tittar på i efterhand, och kontaktuppgifter till oss på SITECH. För övrigt så vill jag bara tacka. Thank you Samuel for the presentation, och jag vill tacka alla som varit med idag. Och jag vill också slå ett slag för webbinariet vi kör samma tid imorgon, som då är inriktat mer på anläggningsprojekt. Så då hoppas jag att alla får en fortsatt bra dag och att vi kanske ses imorgon igen. Thank you, Samuel.
Thank you so much.